Hey, Beat Baseball World. Welcome back to the Beat Ball Blues Show with your host, Neil Dog Bam Bam. Taking a little diversion from our usual hilarious, knee slapping funny set, dog. We'll still be entertaining, but maybe not as much as usual.
Why so serious?
Okay.
Wow, all right.
Okay, no fun. My kids have a phrase for that. It's called the No Fun Patrol. Neil is the captain of the No Fun Patrol today. All right. Okay, No Fun Patrol time.
So this is one of two episodes. I guess I should explain since we've changed it a little bit from how we promoted it. We've offered to all of the board candidates. At least we didn't go directly to them offering, but we've been promoting for the last few weeks that we are opening our doors to anybody running for board position or second vice. That they'd be welcome to come give their thing here on the show, and that we were going to do individual segments. But the group turned out smaller than expected, or I guess than what we thought could be possible. So we got a group of 4 here that I want to introduce real quick before we just dive into everything. And I'm going to do it in alphabetical order.
Can I stop you real quick? Just how many spots are up for?
There are 5 board position spots open and 9 people running for those 5. At least those were. I was going to introduce you first, Chad Dillon. So do I have those numbers accurate? Do you know?
I believe you do.
All right, Chad Dillon of the Gateway Archers. Welcome back to the show, Chad. How you doing?
I'm good. Thanks for having me. Excited to be here.
Absolutely. Keep going down the list. Next up, Mr. Scott Hogwood of the Philadelphia On Fire Beat Baseball program. What up, Scotty H?
What's going on, guys? How y'all making out?
We are hanging in the heat.
I appreciate the invite.
Hanging in the heat. Bringing back from the Cali side, back on the show again, Mr. Darren Keepers. Welcome to the show, Darren. Welcome back. I'm glad that you were able to make it. I'll mention this a little bit more in a little bit, but I'm glad that everything worked out. You're able to get in here with us. And coming up, hitting cleanup, knocking everybody in, the big beast from the Southwest, David Smith of the San Antonio Jets. What up, D. Smith?
What up, guys?
Almost said the Southwest Jets.
Southwest. Southwest region, baby.
Exactly right.
Bombshell, I thought he was going to say.
I real quick before we dive in and give you guys a chance for your platform. Speaking of the San Antonio Jets, so I'm on the rankings committee call and listening in, and at some point Axel Cox of the Jets says the Jets have something we have to report about a couple players, and Axel just meant, through the meeting, he wasn't going to say it right then, and people like, well, is it good news or bad news? He's like, well, it depends on what team you're on. And so he wasn't saying anything else. I jumped in. I'm like, they're going to let you all know that I'm joining the Jets. I'm going to hit lead off. I'm going to play shortstop for them. And people from all the other teams start jumping in and go, well, that is good news. Excellent. That is good news. I think it might have been Mike Conklin said that out of 17 teams, the Jets are ranked 18th now. So
hey, it don't matter where we're ranked.
Neil Dog.
Yeah, man.
They know not what they speak of, Neil Dog.
I know. No, they weren't around when I was out there dominating, carrying you and Eric Mazariegos on my back.
They got no idea. They're mere pups, man. Mere pups. We can't blame them for that, Neil Dog. We can't blame them.
So, all right. So we're going to dive in. We've got some things to throw at this group. We're going to do one thing at a time. Go down the list one person at a time. No time limits or anything. Let these guys have their voices heard. But there's two things I'd like to say. One is just going down the entire list. At one point I thought I would say the names of everybody running, but I mean, if they wanted their names, they would have volunteered to jump in with these four. I will say though, I think it's a strong list. I believe that the voters are going to have difficult choices narrowing down who are going to get those spots, and that goes for the second vice president and for the board positions. So I wanted to say that I think it's a real strong group, but I also wanted to say, because look, we've had Darren Keepers on the show before. He's not just blind; he has a problem with his voice. He doesn't always. Some days are better than others on how loud Darren's voice is. And there was a point in time that we were possibly not going to do the show because today he wasn't having a great day with his voice. And every single one of these guys, they're all running, for just a handful of spots. They were all on target together. Like, man, if Darren can't do it, we'll wait until he can. Like, none of them. This group together, like, even though they're competing for the same spots, they're all extremely supportive of each other. I found through planning this show out, and I was touched by that. And before we dive in, let you guys compete against each other, I just want to say props to you guys for being so supportive of each other.
Yes, sir.
Thanks, Neil. Thanks a lot. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Neil.
No, my pleasure. If that kind of support, that's I guess we all kind of feel that we've worried that we're not always seeing that kind of support on the board. So you guys showing it, just running against each other, I think is a good sign for the direction
This is the kind of types of personalities you would want on your board. To collaborate with each other, and that's it. If you can't collaborate with each other, then we'll just wait till we can.
All right.
Well, and I don't look at it as us competing against each other. We're
Right.
all working for the same goals, and that's the way I feel. And we love Darren, and Darren's we want to be like Darren.
Yes,
Yeah.
very true. Very true. Facts.
Excellent. All right, so let's dive into this. So everybody knows ahead of time. We've already arranged the order that it is going to go in for the first round, but each round we are going to change the order so that the same person isn't speaking first each round and the same person isn't speaking last each round. So to start things out, we are going to, the first order is going to be Scott Hogwood, then Darren Keepers, then D. Smith, and Chad Dillon will clean up in this first round. So starting out with you, Mr. Hogwood, why now have you decided to run for a spot on the NBBA board?
Well, I mean, first and foremost, my kids, they're young, they're in this league, and I've been around a little while now, and I just want to keep things, heading in the right direction for my kids and this entire league. I love it. I love the league. I love to play baseball. I love the people in the league. I've gained a lot of friends and to me some family, and I just want to represent them in the best way.
Yeah, I mean, follow up for him, Seth Dog. That's one thing I forgot to mention is I'll be like directing the questions and Seth will handle all the follow up.
No, I think I'll throw kind of this question out to you. I might throw it out to all of you. Obviously you believe it's your the right time for you to run now. There's an opportunity. What if you lose? How will that change how you go forward trying to help the sport?
Oh, I mean that's a great question, especially for me with this group of guys that are here. Um, if I don't get elected, I want to see, my brothers that are here with me get elected. And I'm here to support them any way they need to be supported. I definitely want to be a part moving forward of any subcommittees that are formed, just to have my input. And that's the way I'd handle it. I would be supporting the guys who did make it.
Awesome. Good stuff. All right, Mr. Keepers, let's go to the first part of that two-parter, to you. Why have you decided to run for a position now?
Well, I believe in people, and a lot of people talk about wanting change and improvement and being able to and study the lead for the last 4 years. I've been able to learn a lot. And with my motivation and other abilities, I think I can help bring everyone together, help move forward. Don't worry about what should have been. Focus on the future together and just keep growing, keep touching all the lives that we can. Just make our league what we all want it to be,
Right. Then the same follow-up question that Seth gave to Scott, if you were to not be elected, how will that affect your drive going forward?
Yeah, I agree with Scott. Supporting everyone. Also, I'm doing a lot of work here in California with people, and whatever I do here will, hopefully improve the NBBA. Even if I'm not on the board, hopefully my effort here will help everyone in the long run.
All right.
Excellent.
Thank you, Darren. All right, Mr. Smith, what has led to you running for a spot on the board at this point?
I've been playing b-ball since January 1st, 2017. I love competing. It's the best feeling in the world. But I've also, through the help of my teammates, my coworkers at work, the tons of players in the league, they taught me how inspiring and motivating I can be, and I didn't realize it until they showed me that, and then once I realized it, it's just been it's before b-ball, I didn't realize that, and now that the membership has helped me learn more about myself, man, I just feel like at this time in my life, I'm ready to lead. I'm ready to take this this sport. And I know I know some people might chuckle when I say this, but I want b-ball to be a household name. You know, I want anybody and everybody that I can share the sport with. I'm gonna do it, and I'm gonna look, and I'm not just gonna go to any. You know, major corporations. Like, I just feel like I'm very good at community. I'm very good at collaborating. I'm very good at working with others, and that's why I wanted to run for the board. I feel like I bring a whole new type of energy. Our current administration did amazing the past few years. They reached the, you know, I think they reached their goal, and you know, and working on the image of the league, and they did that. And but I think every half decade we should be evolving with new minds and new ways of thinking and new energy. And I just feel like I'm at the point in my life where I'm ready to lead and ready to really show off the membership of our league. You know, I got a degree in exercise science. My day job, I'm a community wellness nurse and fitness advisor, and I teach people how to be athletic who are 60 years old and older. And I'm gonna tell you this: it's never too late to do anything. And I want to do the same thing I do at work with the league. You know, expand the athleticism of the league. You know, show it off more. So yeah, that's why I chose to run.
What Dylan, that follow up, if you don't win, right, how does that, you know, change your trajectory of, you know, going to talk to corporations, engaging the membership, all that stuff? How would that change just, you know, your action?
It wouldn't change it at all, man. You know, when I go out onto the field, I want to put a show on. I want to put a show on for the spectators, whoever that may be. I want them to see something that me or any other player on the field, I want them to see something that we do and say, holy shit, who are these people? You know what I mean? Just in the same way that you watched when we were growing up as kids and we saw Kobe Bryant doing a 360 dunk, we thought, holy shit, man. Like, I want people to watch us and have the same reaction. So that's my goal. You know, my goal is to win with my teammates, and put on a show, and that's not going to change. You know, I'm still going to go out there and try to make you cry. I want to crush your dreams. If you're not on my team, I want you to cry. At the end of the day, I want you to run to your mommy. And so if I don't get on the board, that's not going to change anything. And locally, on a local level, I'm already spreading the sport like crazy. So like, it won't change anything.
Nice.
And hold on, I just have to point out, I know there's no jokes on this show, but Neil was not growing up while Kobe Bryant was doing 300. Neil was already grown by that time. Boy.
In the same way, Neil was on Wilt Chamberlain. That's the kind of feeling I want to inspire.
When I had eyesight way back in the 70s, they didn't even play basketball on TV yet. So that's not a joke. That's truth. But Chad Dillon, how come you have decided to run for a board position at this point?
Well, thanks for having me today, and I appreciate being able to talk with you and with my friends here. You know, everything I do, I jump in full steam, full throttle. We started the Gateway Archers only a few years ago, and you know, we're competing. We're a top 10 team, and we want more, and we're continuing to grow. We're expanding. We've got other cities and towns that are actually reaching out to us now, in the same way that we reached out to other teams. I would tell you that when we started the team a few years ago, we reached out to the league and we reached out to some teams and you know, we experienced what it was like to be a new team and start a new team in the league. And I think what I realized is that, you know, because of my background, because of my experience, you know, this is something else. Like Dave said, you know, I love this sport, and I've only been in it a few years. I lost my sight late in life, but I've dived all in, and I know that beyond the Gateway Archers, that I would be willing and able to help teams all across the United States be as successful as we've been in a short time, or any kind of help that any team would need. I'm doing this because I see the future of the league being focused on teams and helping the teams be successful, because when the teams are successful, the league is successful. So that's why I'm doing it. I want to see 25, 35, 40 teams at the World Series, viable teams that are fully funded and have everything they need to be successful.
And then that follow-up, what about how does losing kind of change your focus, or what you feel is possible to accomplish?
Well, I want to answer the question a little bit differently than anyone else on this group has answered. I want to tell you that there is no losing, that the four of us together with some other folks running for the board, some of us are going to make it, not all of us are, but we're going to successfully change the way things are done. We're going to work together as a team regardless of the outcome. I've already been accepted on the finance committee. I will continue to serve the league on the finance committee. As I believe most people are aware, St. Louis, St. Charles, the Gateway area is attempting to bid on and host a World Series. I will be instrumental in helping make that happen. Whether I have the title of board of director or not, you guys can't get rid of me that easy. So I'm here.
Oh man, no, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. My bad.
It's all good, man. It's all good.
No, I mean, honestly, I know I shouldn't. Yeah, I know I'm not supposed to judge that, because especially that was a really good answer. That was a really good
Fair one.
All right. So in this second round of questions, we are going to start out with Darren Keepers up first. Darren, what have you been involved with previously that you think can help you in a role with the National Beat Baseball Association Board of Directors? Might need to give Darren a second to get unmuted. Might not expected. There he is.
Oh,
You want to hear the question again? Are you good?
thanks. I've always been social, despite my I'm good with social media and fundraising. And when I got involved in people a few years ago, both those things really helped me take off pretty quickly. And I thought, I don't just want to do this for one team. I want to do it for an organization. And now I want to do it for the NBBA. So, I want to help find money, find sponsors, get the news coverage. When I attended World Services for the Blind in Arkansas, I raised $45,000 as a student. I felt like I could help them out by updating the facility, I went and found the money, and I just thought, well, I'm good at this. I want to put it to good use, and I'm really hoping that I can bring that experience to the NBBA, and you know, hoping to get bigger. That's my goal.
That's one thing I can say on your behalf, because you talked about like being previously involved with like social media and stuff. That's how I got to know Darren Keepers, is once he got the Pasadena Panthers going. He was bringing in other teams, and they're popping up on my Twitter or whatever. It's like I did notice right away that just jumping in and finding the sport, that you were already like helping other teams find the sport. Seth, did you have a follow-up on this question?
You know, it's kind of a more a philosophical that builds kind of off this same thread. You know, you have your previous experience, obviously, you know, working with your own teams and stuff like that. How do we get like change done? How do you build like consensus to get? How do you view building consensus? Is it something that you have to build at the board level and then bring to the membership? Or do you view like it's the membership that you have to take their vision and enact it on the board? Is it, if that makes sense? It's like, how do you view consensus building and actually getting something accomplished? Where does that start, and you know, how does that process look for you?
I think one good thing about me is I listen a lot more than I talk, and I collect a lot of information that way. You know, communication is huge. You know, like with my friends on here, when we have an idea, we bring it up to each other and get opinions, and then move forward, or we don't. And I'm not going to push a specific change unless others are behind them. I think we have a good idea what people want. But I'm going to continue to listen, reevaluate, and then keep proposing. You know, obviously, equipment is the biggest need right now. We can all agree on that. And I think with some of what I have going on right now, that I'll be able to help that change. Whether I'm on the board or not. And whatever I do, you know, the NBBA will, if they decide to. So
Could you say that last part again? You in addition to your voice, it cut out a little bit. The NBBA will what?
Oh, whatever I do here in SoCal, I'll make sure the NBBA can benefit from that.
Right.
I'm not in it for myself. I want us all to benefit, and I'll do my part to make that happen.
Nice.
I know that was long-winded, hopefully. Makes sense.
Oh, we've been dealing with Neil for years. It's all good. Long-windedness is good.
All right,
Oh,
D. Smith, you are up number 2 this time around. What kinds of things have you been involved in the past that make you feel prepared for this role?
Before I start, I just want to point out how much I admire Darren, man. Like Darren barely has a voice, but has somehow built up a solid organization over there in California, who raises more money than the league has, and on top of that, not only that, he also negotiated a deal to where he's going to be presenting beat ball in a Major League Baseball stadium, which I think is amazing. I mean, Neil, Seth, when's the last time that has happened?
It doesn't happen a lot. I mean, it has happened a few times here and there, but no, it doesn't happen a lot. You're right.
It's been a while. So from me, my thought process is, what for somebody who has the skills to do that, and at the same time barely have a voice to be vocal, when you want somebody with those type of skills to be on the board, man, I mean, he has my vote.
It still finds a way to be heard.
Absolutely, and also look how long it took him to get to the World Series. They started this thing years ago, and they're patient, they're consistent, and they're dedicated, and now they're making their first World Series appearance, and I think that's just amazing.
Excellent words. Now David's time's up.
Yeah.
Move on. Thank you. Very valiant of you.
No. I'm a fan of Darren for sure.
No, good endorsement. But what things endorse David Smith right now? What things have you done that make you feel ready for this role, being on the board?
Well, I think my biggest accomplishment is I want to say successful, but just being a good husband and a good dad, a good teammate. Like those, like developing relationships is the most important thing in my life. Developing meaningful relationships, and so through that skill, number one, I convinced some lady out there in this world to marry me. You know what I mean? So that's my biggest accomplishment. As far as life and all that. But in terms of professionalism, me and 6 other amazing people got together, and we are the directors for Texas Adaptive Play Initiative. We started this at the beginning of this year, and man, it's rolling, man. We've done some great things in the short amount of time that we've been official, and the 6 directors are kind of spread out amongst the state, and we've all started new programs in our respective areas. I know down here, I partnered up with a MMA gym. I started the very first in our area, the very first blind and visually impaired MMA class. That's just for blind and visually impaired people at a discounted rate. We've also, as you already know, me, Zach, and Axel are putting together the first ever Beat Ball All-Star Weekend. And that's my biggest baby right now. That's very important to me because that's going to showcase our sport. We're gonna show as many people as we can our sport at the highest level that you've ever imagined. It's never been done before. So we got that going on. I've somehow navigated the healthcare field successfully as a legally blind, visually impaired individual, which was very difficult. So I guess the biggest thing I've done that makes me a good fit for the board is developing relationships and inspiring people to believe in me. Because I didn't walk into, when I became a nurse, I didn't walk into a professional world that just said, hey, that just accepted me with open arms, you know. I had to convince people that I wasn't a danger, you know, that I was safe as a nurse and stuff like that. So I think just developing the relationships that I have over my lifetime, that's the biggest thing I've done that I feel like prepares me for the board.
Then I guess on that same thing, thinking of consensus building, right? How I mean, we all have ideas, but how do we then translate the ideas into, you know, concrete actions? It's like, how do you view that in building relationships? Is that something, how are you going to get like board members who aren't, you know, necessarily hearing you, or is it something you need to go to the membership that perhaps they're not hearing you? How do you reach the other side and build consensus?
Well, you have to inspire people. Number one, you have to get them to realize that they are better than they think they are. And once you do that, you get a whole different person that you can approach with your ideas. And it's not about convincing people to go your way. It's about negotiation. It's about seeing the pros and the cons on both sides of the argument, right? I might bring up an idea, but then this other person says, well, what about this? All right, well, let's think about that. How could we navigate that perceived issue, you know, on your idea? So it's just about collaborating and being on the same page, right? I think we all want to see this sport on TV, right? We want to be in everybody's house. We want everybody to see how awesome that our players are in the league. We want them to see amazing plays. We want them to see. My thing is showcasing the athlete, showcasing the membership, so that people, like I said earlier, so that people can have that wow factor. And but in terms of like what you were talking about, it's just, you got to inspire people, man. You got to inspire with your actions. And once you inspire people, then it's a whole different, you know, it's a whole different ballgame. You can bring some things to the table and figure something out.
Excellent. Thank you, David. Chad Dillon, you are up with this same question. You have some things that you could share with us that you feel have prepared you for a role with the NBBA Board of Directors?
Sure. Yes. My whole life. No, you know, most folks know about the Eagle Scout stuff at 16, building beep ball bases, full 7 years before I even knew I had inherited retinal disease. But even in college, I was putting together charity softball tournaments in the town I grew up in, and raising money for like American Heart Association or American Lung Association, different agencies. And that was just because I love softball. I love to play ball, and I'm kind of into fundraising. So when I graduated college, I went to work for the Boy Scouts of America. I'd spent many years on summer camp staff, and I took a job believing, oh, this is great, I'm going to get paid to run camps. Well, that's not what I got paid to do. I got paid to recruit, to develop relationships, and to fundraise. And I found out pretty quickly I was pretty good at it. I was really good at it. In fact, promoted 3 times very quickly within 10 years, to the point where I have a $1 million budget, 17 employees, and I'm covering half of Southern Illinois. Our job was to raise $500,000 a year in direct donations from families, over $1 million a year in special events. You know, I've been fundraising most of my adult life. And fundraising comes down to developing relationships, as we've talked about, marketing, public relations, you know, having people understand what your mission is, what you're about, and finding the people that want to support that mission, and then supporting them so they feel comfortable in helping us out. As I think about this league and where it could or should go, in my opinion, we've got a lot of opportunity when it comes to fundraising, marketing, and PR. And I know we've got some folks tomorrow night that are going to talk about that. But as far as what I can do and what I've done is I've developed relationships my whole life. After I worked for the Boy Scouts, I became very involved in the real estate business, managing multi-million-dollar properties and budgeting for those. So, I've been responsible for $8 to $10 million budgets through various, properties that different real estate companies that I worked for have owned. Once I became legally blind, I joined the Business Enterprise Program. I successfully started a business before the pandemic, and I've now successfully restarted the business after the pandemic. And in between, I helped the state of Missouri start another facility, and they're all running successfully. So when it comes down to the nuts and bolts, the business side of a nonprofit or the business side of this league, I don't think that there's going to be too many candidates that have the amount of success and background that I have. Plain and simple.
And I guess building on that, right? Because it seems like you're stepping into this with a clear understanding of what you need to do, how you need to operate, and stuff like that. Which kind of it means that people are going to have to follow your lead, right? How if I'm reading, I could be reading that wrong, but how then do you build that? Enough support within either the board to follow your fundraising suggestions, or to get to the membership and say, hey, look, if we do this, then we can have that or this stuff. How does that next step happen once you're on the board?
Well, I've listened, as everyone's answered this question, three words came to mind. The first Darren said was listening. Darren said he was a better listener. He does a lot of time listening than speaking. And I think that's the most important thing. As a board, it is our job, in my opinion, it is our job to listen to our membership, to ask pointed questions and listen to our membership. I think the second thing I think about is compromise. Consensus is good, but compromise is more attainable, it seems like, in this environment. In the environment that we're in, with so many different opinions, so many different teams, so many different philosophies on how to be successful, compromise is a way towards to consensus. But ultimately, at the end of the day, people have to believe and have to know that I have their best interests in mind. If I'm presenting an idea, presenting a theory, a concept, especially if it's out there, if it's not something we've done before, everybody in the room, whether it's a team, my team, another team, or the board, they have to believe that I have their best interests in mind. And the best way to do that is by developing relationships with those folks, and they understand that I'm not here for me. I'm not here for the Gateway Archers. I'm here for the league, and that's the best place to start to get to consensus or compromise or wherever it is we're trying to go.
Excellent, nice stuff. All right, hitting cleanup in this round, number 13, Scott Hogwood. Scott, what are some things you feel like you can share that you believe have prepared you for a role with the NBBA board?
Right. Well, I'm enjoying listening to my fellow guys here talk about themselves and their stuff, and my story is totally opposite of theirs. So, people that see me on the field and they see me walking through the halls and in the lobbies and stuff, they say, man, that guy just, he's a goofball. He likes to have a good time. But that's on the field and in the hotels and stuff like that. And then you jump over the railroad tracks, and then you got real life. And I graduated high school and I said, let me try this thing called college out. And, I went to college for 3 weeks and I said, this not for me, and that made me realize right then and there that, what's best for some is not always best for others. And people have to communicate, make their own decisions, and stand up for what they think is best for them and the people around them. And so my dad always told me, work makes the world go round. And so after my wonderful 3 weeks of college, and I was glad to get out of there, I said, okay, it's time to go handle business, time to make some money. You start having a family. I was an entrepreneur since 1995. There you go. I'm telling my age now, probably before a lot of these guys were even born. And, I started my own entertainment company back in the day and profitable and just doing what I had to do. And then I got lucky and I met my wife now of 25 years. We started a family and we moved from Virginia to Philadelphia. And I said, this is for me. I can't, I can't do what other people, I have to do things the way that they're best for me. And I now owned, I've been in the business enterprise program now for a number of years. I'm an owner of a catering company. I work inside the federal building with a full cafeteria. I work outside of the federal building, catering parties and even beatball tournaments, and
Nice.
I'm a member. I'm an elected member of the state of Pennsylvania. I'm on the elected committee of the state of Pennsylvania. I represent, everyone. That's my job as a member of the board, is to represent the populace of my state, to do what's best as a whole, to make our program move forward, move successfully. I'm the first person in the state of Pennsylvania to turn a full cafeteria into a micro market with touchscreen kiosk and pickup orders, and now the entire state of Pennsylvania is following in my footsteps, and we're moving in that direction, and you always have to look forward, move forward, put your best foot forward, and I'm a big fan of money, and money makes the world go round. Without money, you're not doing what you need to do. Me and my wife, we have many kids, and it seems like my family's getting bigger and bigger, and you have to be able to maintain a household first, and you're not going to get everybody to agree with everything you say, and sometimes you're going to have to bend, and you're going to have to compromise to put your ego aside and say, hey, maybe this person's right. This is what we need to do to put ourselves in the best situation, and take a step back. I'm a firm believer all my life. I've been on both sides. I've been to where I've had to make ends meet, and I've also been on the other side where I run a $750,000 business, and you gotta always, no matter where you're at, put yourself in other people's shoes. As a member of the board, you're working for the populace. without the people who come out and play beat baseball, there's nothing, you know. So that's what I'm there for, to work for the people that are right here with me, you know, putting in the work and wanting to see things, you know, heading in the right direction.
Then I guess also to you, right, on the same vein, same thread I've been asking about is, you know, the do you view your let's say path to, you know, bringing the change you want, like through the membership, connecting with the membership and you know, having them see your ideas and then those filtering up to, like I say, build that consensus that we can then see it happen either in the membership or on the board level, or you know, do you want to, you know, change the board's minds or lead the board and have it kind of filter down to the membership, or how do you approach it?
So Bam Bam, this comes into business right here. I mean, it's all about, you know, knowing, if you don't know people, you can't work for people. You know what I mean? You got to know what people want. Just like my customers, you know, if they want Diet Coke, but I keep putting Coca-Cola on the shelves, I'm not going to sell Coca-Colas. You know, it's kind of the same thing. You gotta, we all hopefully are striving for the same goal. There's a whole lot more members in this league than there are board members. So our job as board members is to know what the populace want. You know, we know there's issues. You know, we know there's issues right now with just like Darren mentioned it a little while ago with equipment. I mean, you know, there's people out there that they're going to make sure they pay the cable bill, but the electric's getting ready to turn off. So what's the point of paying the cable bill if your electric is getting ready to get cut off? You gotta put your priorities in line. We gotta focus on one thing at a time, and we do it with the majority of the populace. And what the people in this league want is what the board needs to do, and that's where I am on that. You know, I'm a real guy. I stand up for what I believe in, and I stand up for the people that I'm here to serve.
All right. Seth always says, first step of 1,000. What is it? First step of 1,000 miles.
30 of 1,000 miles starts with the single
One
step.
There you go. There you go. All right. Thank you, sir. All right. Moving on to round number 3, our leadoff batter from San Antonio, Mr. David Smith. We'll be starting things off this time around. David, what is the number one thing you would hope to achieve as an NBBA board member if you're elected?
Oh, the number one thing, man.
Or at least one thing. What's something you want to achieve as a going in as a board member?
I want to be a part of a board that puts together officially the first national team.
All right.
And we already taking steps on the outside to do that. So that'd be, I would love that I would love to see that within the next 4 years.
And you know, go ahead, keep going. You can go.
So
I was just ask you, like, what is your vision? And this isn't necessarily my follow-up question, but just drawing you out a little bit more. What is your definition of like a national team? What is that consisting of there?
Well, the best of the best, you know, and it's to
play internationally or something like that. That's good.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, yes, to play internationally, we want to go up against Taiwan, Canada, Dominican Republic. We want to get them back involved, and what a great way to do it than to call them up and say, hey, we got a national team that can kick your ass. So along with the national team, of course, along with that comes with a major corporate sponsorship. I'd like to see that along with it. So yeah, because if we get there, that means we've developed some strong relationships somewhere, and that's what we need to do. We need to develop a strong relationship with at least one major nationally recognized corporation.
Did you have another follow-up? Right.
Yeah, it's more of a kind of a follow-up on a different topic a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
What is your view of the role of the ethics committee and our ethics pledge? How do you view that? Are you a reformer? Are you a supporter? Are you a get it ridder ever? You like that? Get it ridder ever? I like that. Or where are you at?
No,
How do you feel about the ethics?
I think it's good to have a code of ethics. I do think we just, when you start something, and this is why I respect the current administration, because they started something that had never been done before, right? And so with that comes, everybody has to understand that it's not going to be perfect in the beginning, and there has to be some small tweaks and changes along the way to make it how it was imagined in the beginning. And so I like the code of that ethics. I do think there needs to be little tweaks and changes to eliminate the chances of a perceived gray area popping up, right? Like we don't want it to be to where when it's implemented that people are questioning it, right? You don't want it to be questioned, right? You don't want it to be like, you don't want anybody to think of it that way. So I do think there needs to be little tweaks and changes to it just to prevent those occurrences from happening.
Needs a little be a little more cut and dry, a little more clear.
Yeah,
a little more clear.
A little bit more
fair.
clear, yep.
That's fair. All right. Thank you, David. Chad Dillon, let's move on to you. What if you're elected as an NBBA board member, what's the top thing that you would hope to achieve?
I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, the largest attended World Series was 24. Is that correct? 24 teams?
You're correct.
So I would like to see a World Series that meets or exceeds that number. And I know that that's a logistical nightmare, but the idea that we have 24 or more strong, viable, fully funded teams in our league is exciting to me, whether that's nationally, internationally, or both. I mean, that, how amazing, everything we've talked about is growing our sport. Dave wants it on TV. Well, I want a team in every major metropolitan area and in North America, not just the United States. Why don't we have teams from Mexico? Why don't we have more than one team in Canada? I mean, there's so many opportunities. So I would love to see 24 or more teams compete in a World Series.
All right. Same to you on the ethics committee. Where are you? I mean, we're all members of Beep All Nation, so
let's talk.
We've all seen stuff. So you tell me where are you on this ethics committee and the punishments and all that?
Well, let's talk about it. So we have two extremely influential, high-ranking members of our league who got into a spat, a personal issue. It seems like that spilled over onto a recorded phone call. The deal, and this is all my opinion, so before anyone starts texting me or calling me, it's just my opinion. This is an issue between these two individuals that has existed since 2014 at least. So it's gone on and on and on. And now that we have an ethics committee and a policy, one of the individuals filed a complaint against the other. And in basically circumstantial evidence at best, this person was voted to be sanctioned, not following anything that I can read in the in the ethics committee and the way a minor infraction or major infraction works, and just basically out of thin air, in my opinion, picked a punishment. And so what I would say is the issue isn't with the ethics, the code of ethics. The issue is probably in the implementation. The ethics committee, should the board president and the board secretary sit on the ethics committee? I don't think so, but I don't know, maybe I'm wrong. Should the board itself be responsible for putting sanctions on individuals, especially board members, without involvement from team contacts or team leadership or the membership, right? So the NBBA membership, and I imagine we're going to talk about this here in 2 weeks.
But bringing it around to what Seth's asking though, like where, without going through everything, where do you stand with it? Like where?
Well, I guess I'm spelling it out because I believe the code of ethics is fine. I believe that we have some implementation issues. I think that where I stand is the committee and how the committee is formed and how the committee works needs to be written in stone. I think the committee's recommendation and how the board responds to that recommendation needs to be written in stone. If there's only 2 levels of infractions, then that's it. We can't make up infractions.
Right.
It's either a minor infraction, slap on the wrist, or it's a major infraction and you're done for 2 years. But what we did was some conglomeration of the two, and clearly the membership has spoken and we don't agree with it.
Fair enough, but I just don't want to go beyond.
Right.
Where you stand. So. But no, good, solid. The very end was very concise and clear.
And here's the thing. Hey, however you guys want to answer the questions is however you guys should answer the questions. You know what I'm saying? So
fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough. All right, let's move on to Mr. Hogwood. Scotty H., what would be your top thing you hope to achieve if you become a NBBA board member?
All right. Now that things are settling down just a little bit. But see, I can see Bam Bam though. He's a little instigator. Oh, you say whatever you want to say.
I'm for free speech, man.
That's
Dig
right,
your
baby.
own grave.
That's right.
I got you.
That's right. That's right. So, I can't continue to repeat myself, but I guess I can. And I guess I ideally, we shouldn't be concerned about money. Money is my number one priority with any organization. Equipment, balls, bases. I love to see what Darren is doing in SoCal. Jeff Rhines is doing in Philly. We're getting these wireless bases. We got to get people to give them a try. You hear them one time and you think these are no good. Like you said, stop. Let's tweak it a little bit. Let's get it right. But we got to move forward. We're balls. Equipment. We can't play the game without beat baseballs. So, it's one of those things where, we got to have our priorities in line. And that's what I want to see, is us not to be worried about money and equipment. And one of the other things I would love to see is if we don't have one location to host a World Series, we have a couple different locations, maybe one on the East Coast, more than every 8 to 12 years, maybe one on the West Coast to make it easier for SoCal to finally make a World Series. They've been battling to get to one, but sometimes when they're not, it's that's what I'm saying. You kind of got to put yourself in other people's positions when you're looking at stuff like this. And it was so great when back in 2012 2013, 2014, I was coming up, raising my kids, and I couldn't afford to do this or do that. But I knew in 2015, oh shit, the World Series is in Rochester, New York. Hell, I can drive to Rochester, New York. And that was the opportunity for me to go to my first World Series. And that may be the first opportunity for a lot of people to get to their first World Series. It's not easy. It's financially difficult. I mean, hell, one flight this year for me to go to the World Series is what the NBBA donates to each team. And I think that's to me, it needs to be vamped. It needs to be looked at. The NBBA should be gaining more funds to be able to help these teams out. You guys know what I mean. It's great. I'm not being not thankful for it, but $1,000, we should be able, as an organization, work for these teams to help these teams get to these locations. And to me, $1,000, is nothing when you're bringing teams with 12 players and 12 volunteers and these teams. I see Darren raising money. I see the Jets out there every weekend raising money. Booker in Indy raising money. The Wool ladies, oh my gosh, you see so many Facebook posts where they're trying to raise money and do the things that they need. I want to see the NBBA do that and help these teams. I think that, like Chad said, you want to see 24 to 30 to 40 teams. We should be able to raise money, make money, put our feet on the ground, do whatever we have to do to get money into this organization to be able to get teams to these World Series. I know teammates of mine this year, can't do it. We need to be able to help people get these things done. Equipment and helping out everybody to get, it's not as easy for some to get there as it is for others. And people sometimes, forget about that. And that's one thing I'll never do is forget about people. I'm not a fan of leaving people behind. If you want to go, come with me. And that's what I think we need. And speaking on that too, I'll just tell a quick little story. You said I don't have no time limit, Neil. So I'm going to give you.
Guilty.
Hey, Neil, that was something Neil and I didn't totally work out beforehand.
So he told me no jokes and no time limit. So far I'm 2 for 2. So, but I spoke to a young lady and we sat down after the Beast of the East tournament. We sat down and we were eating dinner, and she told me playing with this team has been a very humbling experience for her. She played with teams where she played every inning. She was leaving the fields and she was in a ice bath, and now she's playing and she's not getting the opportunities that she used to get. And I'd really love to see the NBBA help the women of our league. Like I said, I may be a little biased. I have some daughters, but I know there's a ton of women up here in the Northeast with Megan and Sam and Catherine and Ida and oh my God, we got 5 or 6 women on the Philly Fire. And I would love to see the NBBA help these women out. Let these women have their glory, have their shine. Let them have a weekend somewhere. The NBBA should help them do that so they can showcase themselves. I think that the Wool game is great, and I think it's a great thing that we do during the World Series. But I also don't think that these women are getting the opportunity to really showcase themselves like they deserve it. There's so many women out there, Kalari and Hillary and Dakota and Faith and you know, I want to see these girls play more than 2 or 3 innings, you know, in a wool game. Let's see them build 4 teams and have a weekend and these the kids of our league. You know, as soon as I saw a message from Jason, you know, I got 150 kids that I want to teach beat baseball to. How can you not say, hey, let's gather up the balls, let's get these to this guy? You got Nestor and Damian here doing their thing in New Jersey. You know, the kids that are out there, this is our future. We got to do everything in our power to get these guys. I went to a blind school, Neil, in Virginia, never heard of beat baseball until I was 37 years old. It's unacceptable. It's unbelievable. We got to get it out there. We got to get people knowing what it is. How can you go to a school for the blind well, I went to high school for 6 years, but you went there and you never even heard of beat baseball. I knew about go ball, but I never heard of beat baseball. I didn't get to play beat baseball until I was 36 or 37. That's got to change. We got to get these kids out here. We got to move this thing, as we say, onward and upward. And that's the way I look at it.
All right, jumping in with my ethics question, because I do like a little controversy, but you can't go on for 5 minutes, man.
You got it. I won't.
But
I won't need 5
and hold on,
minutes.
and I'm limiting you, and I'll just give you props on one thing. I'm a girl power dad too, so I like your idea.
100%.
Go ahead, tell me about
ethics.
your ethics.
Ethics committee. I won't need but about 30 seconds. I'm with Dave a little bit. He said it needs to be tweaked a little bit. I'm a realist. I think it needs to be tweaked a whole lot. It needs to be more detailed. It needs to be more itemized. When punishments are handed down, there should be no conflict of interest. You know, there should be no question marks anywhere. I think that if a player is suspended from this league, every team contact should have a vote on whether this player, they should know what's going on. They should have a say-so in who gets suspended from this league or not.
All right, fair enough. Excellently put. Darren Keepers, if you could unmute yourself again, and we will start you out with the same thing. What's the one thing that you would like to achieve if elected board member of the NBBA board?
It's all about expansion and awareness. It's a combination of all these guys just talked about. I want 8 teams in California. That requires a lot of awareness, and I want to do that NBBA, and coming up, NBC News reached out to us to do a story on the nightly news with Lester Holt, and to be able to be doing that right before the World Series, that's a pretty big opportunity. And I'm really looking forward to us taking advantage of situations like that, where we can tell the world what we are, who we are, and what we do. That awareness, our approve. We'll get those sponsorship that Dave wants. And the funny that John wants to get all the teams together. So, you know, my goal is to get all that done. And if the four of us get on the board together, that's going to be a lot of good for the league.
All right, and so on Seth's follow-up question, where you stand with the ethics committee, or do you think it needs to be retooled a little bit? You like it as it is? Want to get rid of it? Where do you stand?
Yeah, it wouldn't hurt to look for the code again, but I agree it's the implementation, who's on the committee, you know, how many members of the committee should be for one team. You know, how should that committee be divvied up? Because, I mean, you need various people agreeing on it, because they're not all from one area, you know.
All right, a little more of a mix then with the people involved.
Implementation and agreeing on who should make up the committee is my focus.
All right. All right, fair enough from all of you. All right, fellas, with this last round, I think we've done a pretty good job of giving the voters a good idea of all of you. So even though it's still no time limit, I think we should do this last part in kind of nutshell form if we can. The orders to finish things up is going to be Chad, Darren, Scott, and then David will have the final words.
I'm sorry. Is there any way I can go first? I'm supposed to hop on another meeting for the All-Star weekend, actually.
Knowing your group, I have to assume that nobody else has a problem with that. Is everybody okay with David going?
As long as he doesn't 8 Mile us, that's fine. We're good.
Of course. Help yourself, D.
All right. So all we're looking here for at the end is just give us a little nutshell, David Smith, why the voters should vote for you.
I'm passionate. I'm passionate about the membership. I'm passionate about helping people realize their dreams, whatever they may be. I'm passionate about helping people evolve as a human, as an athlete. I'm just passionate. I'm passionate about helping people be who they want to be, and so I feel like we're all athletes in the membership. We all want to be showcased. We all want to be respected from our athletic skills and abilities. And I feel like each and every member in the league is capable of putting on a show. And so I'm passionate about just exposing all that good stuff for the membership in the league.
Excellent.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks a lot for joining us, David, and good luck to you. Wish you
Yes, sir.
the best
Thank you.
of luck in the tournament as well.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Have a good one.
You bet. Chad Dillon, what is your nutshell? Why are we voting for Chad Dillon this year?
steal a word from Dave. I'm passionate. I'm passionate about this league being team first and player first. I'm passionate about the board of directors, or at least my position on the board of directors, representing every team in the league and doing what is best for the teams. You know, whether that's lowering costs, whether that's eliminating red tape, whatever it is, I want this league to be for the players, by the players, instead of the other way around. And I think that's why you should vote for me, because I'm always going to put the player and the team first.
Cool. Can I just have my quick little follow-up? Yes or no question? Yes or no? If you are elected, will you support the Beatball Blue Show becoming the official podcast of the NBBA?
Yes, 1,000 times
I
yes.
got our vote.
Thank you. Great.
Got our vote.
Look,
Scott.
no, it's too late. No, I get to say something. What you guys have done, I want to talk about this. What you guys have done has been great. You've done something that no one else was doing. There are a lot of people who don't like Beatball Nation for whatever reason. Beatball Nation is amazing. Beatball Nation is the best way for us to have fun, communicate with each other. Beatball Nation and the Beatball Blue Show has made Beatball a year-round activity. It's not 1 week a year. It's 52 weeks a year because of you guys and because of the nation. So thank you.
Oh, thank you very much.
Appreciate
Appreciate that. I'll say the same to you. Thanks for joining us tonight, and good luck to you both playing your team playing in the tournament and with the election.
Appreciate it.
Scotty H, what is your nutshell? Why are we voting for you, Mr. Hogwood? Oh,
Sorry, Neil.
there we
Sorry.
are.
No,
Okay.
I was muted
You're
there.
good. You're good.
Well, there's there's always tough decisions to be made, and I'm the guy who is not concerned, about making the decisions. There's tough decisions that need to be made. I'm the guy that's going to stand up for you. And that's it. It's all about this league. And, I'm the guy that's going to stand up and say, no, that's not right. That's not what our league wants. And when I first started with this, and I said I was going to run for the board, I got text messages. I got phone calls. Oh, watch what you say. Watch what you say. You might pay for what stuff you say. That's not me. I'm not that guy. I'm going to stand up for what I believe is right, and I'm going to stand up for everybody in this league.
No walking on
Excellent. Then
eggshells.
I got
around.
my yes or no for him, since he's such a good, honest person. I like that. All right. Yes or no? I'm switching them up. If you are elected to the board, will you support Neil McDonald appearing on the broadcast of the World Series championship game? If you're feeling it,
100%. Neil,
man.
my mom is like your biggest fan, dude. How can I say no, man? She's a watcher every week. I've been on this podcast 3 or 4 times now. I'm a fan, man, and I love what you guys are doing for the sport.
Thank you, bro.
And
Appreciate that.
I appreciate you guys giving us the opportunity to talk to everyone, and really appreciate it. And onward, upward.
And make sure
Yes,
you
sir.
let her know I'm a single man. Just throwing it out there.
Hey, never thought you'd be calling Neil daddy, huh?
I bet he said a while back you were the only one calling him daddy.
Yeah. I'll have 2 of you now. I'll have 2 of you.
I remember that.
No, thank you, Scotty.
thank you,
Good
guys.
luck
I
to you all the
appreciate
way
it.
around. Good luck to you all the way
You guys
around.
take care. See you, man. See you, Darren.
Darren Keepers, man. Let's get your final words. Why are we voting for Darren Keepers?
Yeah, I mean, how do I follow that?
By just saying what he said. No, I'm good. Go ahead.
I only got in this sport 4.5 years ago, and I love it. I eat and many people now.
In the blood.
I'm full-time job, and I want the best for the sport. So I just work for everyone. As I said before, I'm a listener. I'm a worker, and I have the passion to help these guys be on to the next level. And I want to do that for everyone.
Nice.
Excellent. You know, if Neil was more of a worker, this show would be more successful. We have enough idea men on this show.
True that, but that's not a follow-up question, though.
I got you. I just a comment, but follow-up question, yes or no,
All right.
follow-up question. This is
All
the
right.
most important one. All right. Are you
right.
going to bring glory back to California?
Ooh,
Um,
there's only one answer, Darren.
you 4
Eventually.
years.
We'll give you
4
4
years.
years. The answer needed to be yes. We'll give you the time. We just need a yes.
Oh,
Bring
yeah.
glory back to California.
Excellent.
It'll be your.
Well, we're counting on it. Because we failed the state, Darren. So you got to pick up the slack for us. We've already failed the state. We need you now.
Hey, you put us all to shame, Darren. Like, oh man, we let people die, man.
All right. That's a good note. That's a good note to end on, fellas. Let's wrap it up. We still have a whole nother episode that we're going to count on people checking out that will be highlighting the second vice president race. But man, thank you to you, Darren. Good luck to you. Good luck to the Panthers, of course. And just thank you to everybody. Good luck in the elections. Good luck in the tournament. We'll be back around once the tournament's already being played. So everybody get there safe and be well. We'll catch you soon.